few years ago, I called an employer about a job. The job description stated that the future employee should live close to the office. I asked if the city I lived in was close enough. No, he said, because when you have to pick up your kids from daycare, it will be impossible for you to be back at the office in time. Okay, this employer assumed that I, as a woman, had kids and that I would be solely responsible for taking care of them. Pretty stereotypical, right? In the 16th century, Spaniards also suffered from stereotypes. They were known to be arrogant, cruel, deceitful, greedy, and lustful. Lots of literary sources attributed Spaniards with these negative traits, and Spaniards were haunted by this bad reputation for centuries. In fact, our schoolbook still teaches that in this period the Dutch suffered greatly under Spanish rule, and that these arrogant and cruel Spaniards were solely our enemies. In reality, our relationship with Spaniards was more complex. Sure, Spaniards were our enemies, but also our trading partners, our kings, and our literary inspirators. Spanish literature inspired many Dutch writers, and lots of Spanish books were translated into Dutch. In fact, at some point, the Dutch rather watched a play from Felix Lope de Vega than from Joost van de Vondel. In my thesis, I studied if these more positive relations with Spaniards and Spanish culture influenced the reputation of the Spaniard. I analyzed Dutch and English literary works from a period of 1554 to 1621 and reviewed if Spaniards were positively or negatively represented in them. My results? Firstly, translations of Spanish literature contributed significantly to the reputation of the Spaniard, both in negative and positive ways. They showed that Spaniards were arrogant and cruel soldiers, but also honorable and heroic knights. Secondly, also Dutch and English people could be stereotyped as Spanish. Were you a Catholic or a Remonstrant? Then you must be a Spaniard in disguise. Finally, Dutch and English writers who met Spaniards in real life were less prone to stereotype Spaniards. Their representation of Spaniards was based on their own experience, and not solely on the Spaniards' bad reputation. Concluding, the idea that Spaniards were solely arrogant, cruel, and deceitful in the 16th century is stereotypical and not true to reality. Want to know more? Invite me as a curator or speaker, and I'll show you how varied the Spaniard could be. Thank you for your attention.